Hi, this is Dr. Benedetto back with fibromyalgia treatment success secret number 5. Back in secret number 4, we talked about autoimmunity, or if you have an autoimmune problem. Now, in this success secret, I'd like to talk about what are the triggers. What triggers an autoimmune problem? And because that's one of the most common questions I get, is how did I get this autoimmune condition in the first place? Well, it's pretty much genetics and your environment. So it's a matter of what came first, the chicken or the egg. It's impossible to tell, but we know that genetically you can be at risk for developing certain problems or conditions. Autoimmune conditions are no different. So you have to have the genes for this. You have to have the genetic predisposition. And then there are certain environmental factors, one of them being chemicals. Cigarette smoke is a big one. There's over 500 chemicals in cigarettes, and I mean, just to name a few, there are things like benzene, which is found in pesticides and gasoline, and accounts for half of all human exposure to this chemical is cigarettes. Things like pesticides, which obviously we know are used for our lawns and gardens and inhaled into the lungs with cigarette smoke. Formaldehyde, chemical used to preserve dead bodies. It's responsible for a lot of the nose and throat and eye irritation that smokers experience when they breathe in the smoke. So chemicals in our environment can trigger the immune system, can trigger an autoimmune response. The latest one to hit the news is something called BPA, which is a nasty chemical called bisphenol A, and it's located in a lot of plastics, especially with all the water bottles and things. Very bad for your thyroid health and can trigger an autoimmune thyroid condition or Hashimoto's. Rocket fuel is another. And yep, you heard that correctly. I said rocket fuel. You may ask, well, how the heck did I get how did I get rocket fuel in my body? Studies have shown that 30 to 40% of women in America have remnants of some rocket fuel in their body. It gets into the groundwater, stays there for a very long time. So now one of the biggest triggers for an autoimmune thyroid, which we've been talking about in the past, is iodine. And some patients are even taking this as a supplement. But when it comes to an autoimmune thyroid or Hashimoto's, iodine is probably the biggest trigger. So chemicals, again, such as pesticides, can cause these things in your household products. Again, anything in the environment, a food that you eat that you're sensitive to, some kind of chronic infection or parasite that you pick up. So you have to have the genes for it, and then something has to be present in the environment to turn those genes on, so to speak, to express the condition. That's basically how you get it. And just because you have the genes doesn't mean you will get it, but that's how you get these conditions that we're talking about. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this success secret, and we'll see you next time. Again, if you have any questions, give us a call, 610-974-9911. Have a great day.